All right, so I have a little screenshot here on how to run a comparison report from a quote. So this is actually in the quoting section where we're doing work on our standard bills of quantities, and you can do that against a completed job that we've already actually sent all the orders out to site, so that we can just make sure that we're not forgetting anything that should be in the job at the very end by the time they've actually built it. So you just go into reports, and it's a bill of quantities. And then you just hit comparison. So what I'd like to do now is I'm just going to run the Jackson Biltmore on the current job on the budget versus the actual cost of a job that's already been constructed. So the default setting, it will only show you other jobs that are in the Lancon quoting system. So that's okay, but it means that if a sales estimator has forgotten it on a previous job, it's not going to be captured. So what I really like to do is change this from Lancon quote to be, you hit the SQL, that brings up this, and then if we just go to Lancon job and then just hit the green arrow, that will now mean that we can bring up any of the jobs that we have completed. So number 8 Hobart was a large 2-story Hampton style home that we've only just handed over. So that's a really good one to be able to compare it against. And that's the actual cost. So that's all my orders that have gone out. And that just reprices it at today's date. So if we run that one, we can just go preview report. So that prints out basically a variance table. So we've got what I've put in each cost center and what was actually the final costs. So you can see I've only allowed $1,000 here, but we've actually used $4,500 on this type of job. So this is part of the process where you can compare a few jobs together and work out if any areas should be higher or lower. So I'm actually just going to print that out. I'm actually going to print it out I'm going to put it in the tender folder so that I can actually view this anytime I want. So I'm just going to put that in the estimating and just call it so particularly because this is the first one I'm doing, I'm probably going to run this report against quite a few other jobs just to make sure that I'm really covered for the actual cost of the job. So I'll just save that one there. And then what I will do is I'll just print it out and go line by line and just make sure I've got absolutely every single item, and anything I'm unsure about that I'm not sure whether it maybe should be in the specifications, have I got a note saying that I've excluded it? I'm just going to go through each individual item line by line and go, okay, well, the Jackson Biltmore doesn't have a pool, so it's okay that it doesn't have that. And then I'll tick that one off. It does have a plumber, so is the plumbing requirements different between the two houses? So maybe this house has an extra bathroom, so I'll just go back and double check, make sure that this quote is accurate for that house, and just go line by line and just make sure and go, okay, well, I haven't included timber retaining walls. We've done that previously. Make sure I've got a note saying that it's excluded, and just go line by line just to make sure that 100% I'm not forgetting anything or that my allowances are too low. So I think this is one of the most important steps that we can do as estimators, to kind of just double check that we're not forgetting anything big. You can at least go, yep, that's correct. There is no pool. Yes, I have a plumber. Yes, I have an electrician. Like all those big ticket items, just in case it gets deleted, just in case there's like some glitch in data build, it just makes sure that we can go through. And I think if we've saved it, we know for sure that we've gone through it, and we can just say, yeah, well, this is what I compared it with. Okay, that maybe this allowance wasn't enough money in future, but at least we can show, yeah, we've compared it against something. And if we find there's a few areas that seem to be under all the time, then we go, okay, you know what, we'll increase them, and we'll go, maybe we do miscellaneous site purchases, maybe we increase that. If this 4,500, now that might have been an odd job, so I would check that particular area with quite a few other constructed jobs just to see what they're running that at. And I can actually run a report that does that with quite a few different cost centres against a few jobs. So I can actually run this report against multiple ones, export it to CSV, and just double check where that average is, because I don't want to just be putting $1,000 in here if we're always spending $4,000 to $5,000 when we've actually finally built the house. So that is what I will do. And so that's just a comparison report, and then you can just review that.